This is 2017 Thursday's paper. These are selected questions. It's basically focused on achieved and merit. If you have this selected paper answer correctly, and you should have a merit point. Let's have a look on what we can do about this question. So question 1. Okay, so we have area and given by this equation, and we're given x and y, and that's the substitution to find out what this area is going to be. So whenever you see, just make the slide thinner, okay. Whenever you see x, you're going to replace that with 2. So whenever you see y, you replace that with 4. And 5 times 4 squared, so that's 8 plus 5 times 16, and that's going to be 8 plus 80, and that's going to be 88. Question number 1. So it's achieved point. Question number 2. We have equation that's quadratic, and also the number before x squared is not 1, and there are 3 separate terms. The only way that we can deal with that for now is by using double up. So we're going to use 3x and 3x, and don't forget you have to divide by 3. That whole thing equals 0. We're looking for 2 numbers over here to fill it in. Time together equals to a times c. Just remind you that's negative. So a times c give you negative 48. And 2 numbers add together and give you positive 8. Positive 8. We can start from 1 and 48, and 2, 24, 3 actually will do as well. 3 was going to be 16, and 4, 12, and we probably can stop right here because you can see the answer already. And one of them is going to be negative, right? So we can see the difference of that 2 numbers can give you 8 is going to be 4 and 12. And then since we want them add together give you positive 8, and the negative number must be smaller. So hence that's going to be negative 4. Negative 4 times 12 give you negative 8. Negative 4 plus 12 give you positive 8. So we have negative 4 there and positive 12. We can see both 3 and 12 are multiples of 3. So hence we can simplify that if you want to. And 3x minus 4 and times 3x divided by 3, x, 12 divided by 3, 4. That whole thing equals 0. Hence we have 2 solutions, either 3x minus 4 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0, because 0 times anything equals 0. So hence we have 2 solutions over here. The first one give you x equals to 4 over 3. The second one give you x equals to negative 4. So this is a merit question, as we mentioned before. If you got it correct, you should have a merit point. If you only have the factorizing correct, which is potentially actually this part, okay, and that's actually is achieved point over there. Question number 2. The area of rectangle is given as expression. We asked to find out the length and width in terms of x. What is the area of rectangle? We understand it's going to be base times height, right? Or you can say length times width, either way. So we're going to have look 2 things multiply together. And that process, if you're looking for 2 things multiply together, give you this. That's called factorizing. Let's have a look. How do you factorize this one? Exactly same methods, double up. Just to remind you, this is not an equation ask you to solve x. Only thing we're going to do is factorizing. So 3x, 3x, and divide by 3. 2 numbers times together equals to a times c, which is negative 96. Add together equals negative 4. Let's start slow. Well, obviously 1 and 96 won't work. 2 and 48 won't work either. Let's try 3 will do actually. 3 and 32, that won't work either. 4, 24, that won't work. What about 5? No. 6 will do. 6 and 6 and what's gonna be 6 and 16, right? Yeah, 6 and 16. 6 and 16, it's not working there. Let's try 8. 8 and 12. Okay, 8 and 12 work, and one of them has to be negative. Now, because they add together give you -4, so the negative must be bigger. So we have 8 and -12. 8 times -12 give you -96. 8 plus -12 give you -4. And precisely that's what we're after. Plus 8 minus 12. And you can see both 3 and 12 are the multiples of 3. You can simplify that one. And that whole thing should be equals to 3x plus 8 and times 3x divided by 3, x minus 12 divided by 3, 4. That's it. Okay, that's factorizing. We can say length and width is going to be 3x plus 8 and x minus 4 is going to be the length and width. Okay, we don't really mind which one is which because the time together give us precisely the area. Okay, question number 2. Oh, by the way, this is a chief question. So question number II. So if we have this quadratic equation, quadratic expression as area, what would be the possible values of the x? Now we understand the length of rectangle cannot be negative, neither 0, right? So based on that, we already have the length of that rectangle. One is going to be 3x minus 8. That has to be bigger than 0. Or x minus 4, that has to be bigger than 0, right? Both sides, the base and height must be bigger than 0. Now we have an inequality right in front of us. The only thing to remind you is whatever you time or divide by a negative number, the sign will change. Otherwise, just treat it as the equation. So we have plus 8, so that we can get rid of that minus 8. We have 3x bigger than 8. Because we add a number, the sign doesn't change. Divide by 3. We divide a positive number, the sign still doesn't change. That's fine. And the other one, simply add 4. And you have x bigger than 4. Alright, just pay attention over here. 8 over 3, that's actually is roughly equals to what's going to be 2.67, something like that, right? Roughly. Now, certainly that's smaller than 4. If you draw it out on the number line over here, if that's 0, that should be 4, and that should be roughly about 2.67. Now we can see based on this inequality that cover this area, okay, and based on this inequality is cover roughly about this area. Okay. Which one actually can satisfy both? We have to satisfy both, right? So that's this one. This one, x bigger than 4, satisfy both. Which means when x is bigger than 4, for example, this value, and both expression give you precisely bigger than 0, right? Okay. Now, if you do somehow choose this one, which is definitely is not right, because when that satisfies this blue one, right? But it's not satisfying the green one, which is x bigger than 4. You can see it's only give you 3x minus 8 bigger than 0, but x minus 4 is going to be negative. So hence it won't be correct. We want the strict one, right? Satisfy both sides must be bigger than 0. So answer, x bigger than 4. Okay, question 3. Rearranging. So if we start from m, and then next one will be m squared. We're just doing based on the order of calculation, so I say. The order of operation, sorry, bad mess. Right, so we do square first, and then we multiply by 9, and then over here we minus 16. So over here is square, and over here you times 9, over here you minus 16. But now we're going to go backwards. We won't have this whole thing unwrapped so that we can have m equals to something, because that's precisely what's asking. Give the equation for m in terms of n. So we're going to make m the subject, m equals to, right? So this is precisely how you go backwards. If you go backwards, you have to reverse that the action. Minus 16 is going to be plus 16, and times 9 is going to be divided by 9, and square is going to be square root. That's what you get for all the actions. Let's add 16, and then you can see you have to add 16 to the other side, and add 16 equals to 9m. Okay, one step closer, we have this now, right? And next step, we have divide by 9, and cool. One step closer, we have n plus 16 divided by 9 equals to m squared. Great, we have this one already. Last step, get rid of that square by square root. So we square root both sides. And you should have the final answer. M is equals to square root m plus 16 divided by 9. You do not have to simplify, right? That's the answer. That will give you achieved point. Next one. We have basically two expressions, but it's fitting into a fraction. Remind you, if you have 2/4, you understand you can simplify that, right? By looking for what is common to top and bottom, and that's called factorizing basically. And you can divide both top and bottom by 2, and you get a half, right? That's how you simplify fractions. So hence we're going to factorize it first. Now just focus on one at a time. So if you focus on this one, okay, 2 terms over here. I'm going to use double up. Not really. You don't have 3 terms over there, right? So hence don't go straight into double up. And double up will be useful if you have 3 terms over here. If you have the number before x squared is not 1, that's guaranteed work if it's factorizable. But for this, it's only 2 terms. We don't really have to be that complicated. Let's have a look what is common so that we can factorize out, right? Factorizing is all about looking for common factors. 6 and 8. Yep, there is a 6 there, right? Sorry, 18. 18 is multiple of 6, right? X squared and x. Oh yeah, there is x there. So we have x left. We have 3 left over there. Cool. Top factorized. Bottom. 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Now we're going to use double up because we have 3 terms there. Right, divide by 2. Looking for 2 numbers. Time together equals to 2 times 3, give you 6. Add together equals to -7. There's going to be 1 and 6 and both negative. -1, -6. Okay, can we simplify? Yes. Over here, both actually a multiple of 2. So that should be equals to, let me just write down different color. So 2x minus 1, and that 2x divided by 2, x. -6 divided by 2, -3. And then we're going to actually put all this together. So we have top 6x, x minus 3, and bottom 2x minus 1, and x minus 3. Excellent. Can you see a common factor? Yes, x minus 3. That's cancelled out. That should be equals to 6x divided by 2x minus 1. Right, so if you have this one factorized correctly, achieved point. If you have this one factorized correctly, you have another achieved point. Right, if you have the final answer correct, that's actually a merit point. Okay, thanks so much.